Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of my all time favorite games. A game that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I love everything about. I I really love the music in this game. I really love the visuals. I really love the setting and the atmosphere. The story, I think, is such a tragic story. Um, and it's like a gut wrenching, heart wrenching world, and it feels so lonely yet so beautiful at the same time. Um, and yeah, I just really enjoy playing this game, so I figure I would share this with you guys, in case you haven't heard of it or haven't played it or just want to know my thoughts on it. Um, but yeah, I will now show the intro. This is what shows immediately when you boot up the game, and then it takes you to this title screen. But I'm gonna let that play out in its entirety, and then we can begin this game. Alright, so see you in a bit. Welcome back. Um, so that was the intro to this game. That is what uh, pretty much got me hooked from the very beginning. Was that intro alone was like it had so much mystery and like it was almost emotional for me, and it was like um, I really felt like I was going along with this guy to this mysterious magical place, in this far off distance, and I'm wondering, why? What is he doing? Where is he going? What is that on in front of him on the horse? And so just from the very beginning, this game sort of hooked me on my curiosity alone, and then it sort of just, became at that time I think one of my favorite, if not my favorite games. So without further ado, without more jabbing, I just want to get into it. So let's begin.
Was Yuhik Aurel Yekforol Ikudu Ibikuka Yulzolu Ionbu Yulilo Cock I Yuzi Yulakoldoloya Olik Olazulam Kaz Ilzozeriku Atzoko Amnos Crudo Laomism Wop was Uediulas also view houses is built. Ikoral kizado yulora. Islis pozaiuku. Aumizukikyo. You are la kwika.
Alula Ostu Hailwa Wuku Aikwa Ujiku Yazu Tsudoko Was Nortekyo Utiura
I will you
Izukyumku Iduse Orodo Yu Iweriko It's not alls amuso Alu Diklik if the least to Izo
オースト温度伊豆を言うなエヴァからホール伊豆をアウナドクユエコズユエドネノクユアド
Uronora Oil I'll bet
I was beautiful, nothing is not worth. Almost around. I will confuse. Hail was not you were and you were confused.
You do You bet Sanada
僕も I hope was no suit. Oh, you will cry outside. Was you and beer only to jeweler who killed jeweler? No suit, you wear, I'll do no food.
All around
You are the widow, you will hear. Oil, I will shift it.
All around You do new
Welcome. So, the intro, the beginning alone, let's talk about it. We arrived here with this girl who is dead, and I don't know if it said, I don't think it said, but her name is Mono, and our name is Wander. Um, so we arrived at this land with this dead girl on our hands, and we are here because we want to bring her back. You know, we heard in the intro that there is a land where loved ones can be resurrected. And so in our quest to revive her, we arrive at this place holding this ancient sword. And who do we meet? Was not clear, but from the way it called us mortal, I would then think that it is an immortal being. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is the god of this place, right? This is, or at least that is what I think at this point, right? This is what, from what I remember as a kid, I would try to understand the world that I'm in and make sense of it. You know, like just like how we do in our day-to-day lives. But he told us, or they, this divine being, God, whatever you want to call it, they told us that in order to revive her, we would first need to kill or destroy all these 16 idols. And they also told us that each of these idols is linked to a colossi, and that scared me. And once we, slay these colossi, the idols follow along, right? So all we have now is this, word from this divine being that if we slay these 16 colossi, then we may resurrect Mono. But he also said, or they also said, that it may extract a heavy price. And our character said that it doesn't matter. So what does that tell us about Wander? To me at least, it means that he is willing to do whatever it takes to bring back this girl. Now, we don't really, or as at this point, don't really know the relationship between the two, but one would assume, or I assume, that this girl is someone that he loves and holds very dear, and so he's determined to do whatever it takes to bring her back, even if it means putting his own life at risk, right? And so we're told to just follow the lights, like where this light beam from this magical sword combines is where we need to go. So we look out into this huge, vast, open world. I know it looks a little bit empty, but back in the day when this first came out on the PS2, these were amazing graphics. I also want to note that I am playing on a PC, so these are upscaled like 4 times resolution. So that also explains like the occasional and odd visual glitch. It's because I'm not actually on a PS2. So apologies in advance for any visual bugs or glitches. But I guess now the only thing we need to do is follow the light. One thing I do enjoy about this game is the camera effects. Like just in walking closer to her, the camera zooms in and pans on her without having to do anything at all, right? Because it recognizes that our Wander is looking at Mono. But enough yapping. Now we ride. One of the things I love most about this game is the camera controls. Like, you have your usual right stick camera controls, but then you have, like, if you hold L2, you sort of, automatically face the way your character is facing. And if you hold R2, you get this sort of zoom in effect, and you can focus on objects in the distance. And if you hold L1, you get this, almost first person view of what Wander is looking at. And as you can see, as he turns his head, so does the camera. And you can even combine them. So if I hold L1 and L2, I can zoom in on what he's looking at. Alright, what am I here for? I saw that little melon up there. There are actually some items you can find around the map. If you look hard enough, you can... How do I fire this? Like these melons, for example. You can find them on trees, and you knock them down and actually eat them, and they will give you, effects. So this one increased my health a little bit, and there's like a few of them you can find around the map, as well as like these lizards that you can find and kill, and if you eat them, I think they increase your stamina or something. But I just love exploring this world and just like the music, the this looming sort of task ahead of us of killing these 16 colossi, trying to revive Mono, all in the background of us traversing this massive open world, beautiful landscape with amazing views and beautiful music. Like, this game to me is more art than game. So here we have our first Colossus. Now, you gotta remember, we're doing this for Mono, right? That's what's driving us. So let's go slay a Colossi. So what you're supposed to do is hold the light or hold the sword up, right? And it will tell you where the weak spots are. One in his head. And oh, one on his ankle. Oh shit. So let's bring this son of a bitch down. Oops, wrong button. Hold on. This part always makes me feel sad. And this part always used to terrify me as a kid. Whatever we killed inside that Colossi came out and into us. Like, I still don't understand that, or I was very confused by that as a kid. So what happens now? Of course I like to save. So what was that? Whenever we awoke, there was a dark spirit next to us, and those spirits were waiting for us too when we first got here, right? When we first set Mono down and we took out the sword and dispelled them that way. But who are those spirits? Was that the spirit of the Colossi? And what are we really doing in destroying these idols? You know, there's a lot of unknowns. But again, the only thing we have to push us forward is Mono. So I guess that means that the next step begins by seeing where the light is drawn together. And then another thing that I wondered is, that first colossi that we killed, you noticed that as we climbed it, we saw sort of like, you know, like parts of his body were, I don't want to say man-made, but he had like stuff that clearly wasn't part of his physical body attached to him, almost as if he was like a prisoner or he was used in some way. You know what I mean? So that's something that as I played, I was keeping in mind and seeing, what more can we learn? need to find another spot. Oh no. Well, guys, we killed a second Colossi, and once again, I don't know if we're absorbing the soul of them, but whatever it was that was inside that thing is now inside me. So I'm wondering what's gonna happen to me. And how is it affecting me? Um, and we're now two Colossi in, and I think that's a good place to stop this first episode. But I really am enjoying this, and I really am looking forward to continuing this series and playing the game with you guys along, right, as the audience. Um, and as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. To the next one. Peace.